So, fellas, welcome.
Thank you.
Another episode of ABandOfBrothers Podcast, and we have two new guests in the room tonight. Can you introduce yourself, guys?
Yeah, I'm William Mason from the Brighton community.
And I'm Mario from the Leamington community, but I was born in Brighton, funnily enough, not near Brighton.
Excellent. And so today, our topic of conversation is probably one that's a bit more relevant for the older men that might be listening, but there might be some gold or some wisdom for the younger men as well. As a charity that has mentors and mentees in it, I often think to myself, I wish I had a mentee. I wish I had a mentor when I was younger. Somebody that I could look up to. And I had guys that were in my life and available, but they weren't official mentors. And yet you've had an official. How many mentors have you had?
Official mentors through ABandOfBrothers at the two now.
Okay.
Two now, yeah.
And you are a mentor.
Yeah.
And have mentored men.
Yeah.
As have I. So the topic I thought we could explore is, as men of an age now, I'm 49. You're
55.
You looked at it too.
Yeah.
You look younger than me. I'm envious. And I'm really envious.
You're a couple years older than me.
So it just turned, so I just think about it.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And you are
I'm 29. You're
29. Okay. So none of us are of the age where that first mentor relationship might have existed.
Yeah.
And what I was wondering was, what would be something that you wish you had learnt, or that you wish you had known then that you know now, like some wisdom? Not because we don't give advice at ABandOfBrothers. What we do is we walk side by side with a man and explore their journey with them. So what would be the wisdom or the experience that you would have loved to have received when you were a younger man that might have served you? That's the question.
Whoa, that's a good question.
It is a good question, yeah. I don't know. I think the piece of advice is that I would give my younger self is that it is okay to fail and make mistakes. That's like my number one, is that it's all right to fail and fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And not only it's all right, some of my best lessons in life
Yeah,
come from the failing.
I've learned more from failing than I have from winning, yeah.
Yeah. Going one further, isn't it? You kind of, somebody tells me about the woman who run the business Spanx. Her dad asked her every week, what did you fail at this week? He basically encouraged the kids to fail and asked them, what did you fail at, as a way of saying,
Yeah.
let's fail more. That's the way to grow.
As a primer.
Yeah, like rather than just saying it's okay to fail, go one further and say, let's do some failing. It's good for you.
Okay, so I'm going to put on her dad's presence right now, and I'm going to ask you, Mario, what have you failed at? What is it that you failed at that has...
This week, or you mean...
Okay. Look, you got some examples from this week. Lean in.
Oh man, probably done wrong today.
What I failed at? I mean, that's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I have to think about that. What have I failed at? I'm trying to think of my whole life. Crikey. I'm on the spot now. I failed. So I check every week what I kind of do this thing every week of what I want to achieve, what didn't go well from last week. So I kind of check up on that weekly, what's happened with work that I didn't do well. A lot of it is down to wasting time doing things that I shouldn't have done, or wasted too much time. I think one of my big failures has been not just speaking up for myself. If I think of my whole life, it's been not standing up for myself and not speaking up for myself.
I can relate to
myself and trying hard to fit in. For me, I see that at the time I probably thought it was a good thing, but now I see that as a failure.
And what's the benefit of that? What's happened that has benefited your life as a result of that?
As a result of...
Yeah, not speaking up for yourself. What you've learned.
What's resulted? Yeah, what's results? Yeah, so basically, compromise myself, not really understanding who I am and my value. I think that's probably it. It's my own personal understanding of what's my value in the world. How do I benefit the world? Because I've been squashing it. by not speaking up. And the more I grow up, 55 and sort of slowly waking up to the realization that if I speak my truth, people value it and they get something from it. And I sort of go, wow, this is how I benefit the world.
I really relate to this actually. Yeah, like when I was a kid, it was always don't speak unless you're spoken to. So growing up into my teenage years, I carried that ideology in my head, and yeah, I've missed out on so many opportunities from not speaking up or speaking out. And like in the last couple of years since I've been working with ABandOfBrothers, it's really given me the tools to be able to just speak freely to anyone and everyone, and be open about everything. Yeah, now I can't stop talking. Yeah.
When I'm thinking about this, and this has happened for me in the last week, an awareness of it. I, for many years, tried to set up initiatives for men in my 20s and in my 30s. And I'm now almost 50, and I'm seeing younger men do something similar to what I did. And I set those initiatives up, and in some ways I looked at them, certainly at the time, as a failure. Like I put a lot of effort into doing something called Mates That Matter, and got a bunch of guys together as mates, and we'd meet and we'd talk a lot of the same stuff that we do at ABandOfBrothers. When I was even younger, I did something called Brotherhood of Men, and we'd go camping in the woods and we'd have adventures. And each time I set it up, we had some cool experiences, but it never grew and touched many people as an experience. It was still quite contained. And I used to step away from those experiences thinking I failed, like something hasn't worked. And what has been a real gift for me in the past month or so is I'm seeing other men in their 30s, like in that age demographic, trying to set up businesses. They've come into ABandOfBrothers, they've loved what we do, and they've thought, I want to take some of this gold and give it to the world. And through the best intention of giving the gift of what they do, they did the same thing that I tried to do, which was try and make my earning capacity linked to this initiative that I wanted to do, to make money. Right. And because I wanted my life to be spent in purpose of this thing. And I couldn't figure out how to live financially and do this passion, because I was at that point where I needed to provide for my family. And so I remember stepping away from those things because I had to earn money for my family and think I don't have enough. And so I had a conversation with the guy last night, a man of ABandOfBrothers, and I shared with him my story of how I've often felt like a failure for not being able to do it by myself. And the real gift for me now, when I was younger, if someone had told me, patience, I got told patience all the time.
Don't know that stuff. Just see the short term. Keep saying to my kids, long term.
But even the gift of being in service, actually, that's the real reward for me now. But I needed to have my house in order, my stuff together, before I could truly be of service and give. And now I can do that. And the richness that I receive from being part of ABandOfBrothers and being able to be supported by a community of people to do cool things like a podcast, or to be part of a community and to meet and to connect. I'm not alone. And actually it's that connectivity that I didn't feel when I was younger. I felt completely alone.
That's it for me, like where I wasn't able to talk. I never asked for help. I never asked for support, and then coming into ABandOfBrothers, you realize, shit, there's men that have been through the same stuff as you, the same stories, they can relate to everything, and they just want to help, There is people everywhere that actually want to help you.
Does it seem weird when people seem so keen to help you? Does that suspicious?
It did. When I first joined, I was a bit hesitant, I was like coming to my first circle, and I was a bit like, because men were not a good thing for me. Like I grew up with an abusive father, so I didn't really rate men. But then when I realized, shit, this stuff actually works, and these men want to help, it changed my life completely.
I heard you say something yesterday.
Yeah.
Which was really moving to me. And I just would like to invite you to share with the audience how it felt for you when you were sitting in a room of 30 odd men having just been elected
Yeah.
to a national role within the charity.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty amazing, to be fair. Yeah, I only went to the meeting or the conference as to gain experience, you know. I only went there to see what it was all about, and I didn't expect to be nominated and to be backed by almost 40 men, you know. Like, that's mind-blowing for me. Like, I can't even put it into words still.
And I remember you distinctly said, I've never had this level of support.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've never had support. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to put it into words. Yeah, it's mind blowing for me, you know, like to have men that support me. Yeah,
29 years old,
yeah,
in a room with 40 odd men,
yeah,
to be elected as a representative, to be a voice and a man that holds the space for the national community.
yeah. It's quite a big thing, isn't it? Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah,
And it's a 2-year term as well. You get to that for 2 years.
yeah, 2 years. Yeah, let's get it.
Great.
Well, good on you for accepting the nomination
Yeah,
and for going through the process, because
yeah.
there was some men asking questions about how you were going to be able to do that.
Yeah, it was quite daunting. Yeah, obviously, when everyone puts their hand out and they've got a concern or an objection, it's quite daunting when you see like more than one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's good information. In a way, it's support, you know. It is support. It's not in a way. It's direct support from the men.
Yeah, actually, you're right, because it was the offer of challenge
Yeah.
and the offer of question,
Yeah.
but you took it as support.
Yeah, support, yeah.
And actually, one of the things that we talk about here, this was another bit of wisdom I would have loved when I was younger, is this idea of the agreements that we have. One of those agreements is, I take nothing personally.
Yeah.
God, yeah, all of those agreements. Can you imagine having had that as a young lad?
Yeah.
Somebody guiding you in that way. But yeah.
And there's a book out there called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he's given us permission to be able to use those agreements as part of our experience. And you modeled yesterday the agreement of take nothing personally.
Yeah. And the thing is, I actually checked into that weekend saying that sometimes I can take stuff personally if people are criticizing me, and then I see everyone's got objections or concerns, and I just took it on the chin. It didn't affect me at all. I was surprised with myself, you know.
From practice, do you think?
It just happened.
Would younger you have been able to do that?
No, not a way. I would have walked out of that room. The first objection I saw, I would have just been like, no, I can't do this. I won't sign up for it. Yeah.
So what's different?
Accepting that I can do this stuff, you know. I've always just told myself that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy of doing this, you know. Like 5 years ago, I'd never imagined being sitting here on a podcast like this. It's crazy to me, like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
How about you, Mario? Of those 4 agreements, which one do you which one have you come a long way from? But from the younger self to now,
Yeah.
what's the transformation for
It
you?
might be that one as well, actually, for me. So can you remind me of all 4?
Yeah, so impeccable with your word,
Yeah.
which basically means I'm conscious of the words that I use, both externally and also to myself. Take nothing personally, make no assumptions, and do my best.
I think those 2, make no assumptions and take nothing.
Yeah, they're the hardest one.
Hardest one. They're the ones that resonate with me the most. And take nothing personally, because I was always very sensitive, took everything personally because I just felt like I was I had a big sort of thing about, I'm not accepted. So obviously that's going to be personal. Then the make no assumptions is massive, and that happens. It's natural, isn't it, to make assumptions? Just doing it all. I'm doing it all the time because we're always looking for shortcuts. So to make no assumptions, really hard to practice, but really helpful. I feel when I can remember.
And so keeping them conscious now is of service to you, but when you were younger.
When I was younger, yeah, like take nothing personally is impossible when you're young.
No.
When you're a kid, everything's, sensitive, aren't you? You're growing up as a young person, you're really sensitive. Seeing my kids, especially if you've been through some kind of problem or you don't look like everyone else or you don't fit in, Yeah. So it's natural to, be sensitive at that age. But to have had that upbringing would have been amazing, I think.
My one was impeccable with my word.
Right.
I recognize that even just the idea of impeccable, like,
It's a big word.
yeah, I'd never heard of it or consider it in that sentence. But when I was younger, I recognized that I was flippant, manipulative, and capable of lying and bullshitting. But regularly I would do that, and for my advantage. And not only would I do that externally, I would kid myself or berate myself. So that the impeccable with my word would be tied in closely with taking things personally. But I'd do something and then I would personally beat myself up for what I did and for doing it in that way.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Those 4 agreements were probably the best gift that I've received from
I use them in every decision I make in my life. No, literally every hour of my day I use it culturally. Yeah, it's just like muscle memory now. Yeah, it's just like I go through each one and make sure I'm on a level with each one, with whatever I'm doing, whoever I'm talking to.
Crazy. I need to learn something from you there. So what do you do? Like, if you've got a decision, you ask you.
Yeah. If it's like a big decision where I'm unsure, or if I don't have direct support next to me, or I can't make a phone call quickly to someone, then I'm quickly running through these, making sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
And actually, what you've brought up for me is one of the gifts that I also recognize now is how everybody that we're connected to is available to teach us something.
Yeah.
And the young men, or younger men than me,
Yeah.
some of my best teachers. And I look with awe at yourself and other young men that we get to have the privilege of walking beside.
Yeah.
And am so grateful for the wisdom that they give me now to learn in my life.
Yeah.
That while I didn't get to learn it then, and I wish I had have been more open to learning when I was at that age.
Me too. Yeah. I was just against the world then. I didn't care,
And here you are at 29 and we're having this conversation and you can walk out to the world and learn from everybody's a gift. Everybody's presence is a gift in our lives.
Absolutely. It's amazing, isn't it? Because most people, or let's not say most, a lot of people, they don't want to do the work. No, we call the work, which is basically just facing yourself and growing beyond, the things.
What you can be, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to do that. So to be walking alongside people who are desperate to do that, the thing is, it's such an amazing vibe, such an amazing energy. People who really, I find they're desperate to just make the change, and that's incredible to be around. I'm really excited to be around people like that. Anyone,
Me too.
and it's always inspiring, isn't it?
That's why we do the work.
That's why we do the work. I think that's a great place to wrap it up, fellas.
Yeah, nice.
And it's a lovely loop that we've gone from. We've started by talking about what it is to talk and give advice, or at least understand what we would have loved to have learned when we were younger, and recognize that the learning is all around us from men doing the work and from men trying to figure out what's right for them. We can still learn, and we can still be in that place of learning. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Great conversation. I can't wait to hear this back. If you have any questions out there that you would like us to explore, please send them in. Any reflections or questions from the content that's come up from today's conversation, again, we'd love to hear about them so we can talk about them in the future. Thank you for watching and listening. This is ABandOfBrothers Podcast checking out.